Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. A mother is searching for answers after a local school failed to notify her that her son was being assaulted. And changes to a local university are getting closer. We'll tell you what lawmakers are doing. Plus, the Health and Human Services Secretary facing backlash over his controversial comments about autism.
And I think it's safe to say now it's been a bit of a warm week, but we've got a weather pattern change coming away. It'll still be warm, but this system coming off the mountains is going to bring us breezy winds and rain chances for Easter weekend and more. All that in the weather coming up.
And the Goliad boys golf team looks to make it to the state championships later today. We'll hear from some of the Goliad players coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and happy Friday Eve. It's Thursdays, just in case anyone gets confused.
I know, tomorrow's Friday. Get excited, though.
And it's International Bat Appreciation Day. We just answered the question of the day. So how fast can a bat fly?
Yeah, apparently 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Who would ever guess that? But coming away at about 100 miles an hour, maybe not that fast, is a system that's going to be bringing us some rain chances this weekend for Easter weekend. And not just that, but also next week as well. But don't worry, we're going to look at all that later on in the show, because this morning, if you're tuning in with us, you're looking live in Victoria. We got a nice pink sunrise on your screen. And like I said earlier, we're looking at some mostly clear to partly cloudy skies right now. But we are starting out the day nice and mild, maybe slightly warm, slightly cool, whichever one you want to call it. 65 right now in Victoria. Dew point, though, a degree off, still bringing us the high humidity of 97%. But look at this, we do have a wind blowing through us right now, providing us with mixing. So don't worry about fog this morning, because you can see visibility map is looking very nice to us this morning. But like I was saying, you can see winds sustained. This is your sustained wind speeds, a constant wind that is, 5 to 10 miles an hour. But we have had wind gusts reported this morning, 15 to 20 miles an hour. So be careful if you see that gust on the road. We do have some wind advisories. That's these counties right here in that tan color for the gusty winds. They are expecting like 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts for the next few days. We'll look at also that later, because those breezy Gulf winds bringing us some warm weather. You can see all of us starting at mid, upper 60s and low 70s this morning. So if you're sending your kiddos out the door, no need for a jacket this morning and no need one for this afternoon. It's still warm. All those details are coming up next.
A local mother is speaking out after learning her son was sexually assaulted by a classmate. The situation has now sparked an official police investigation and raised concerns about how the school handled the incident. A mother who we are not identifying in order to protect her son's identity is demanding answers. She says her son's teacher sent her a message about the incident, not the school administrators. VISD's Executive Director of Communications says the safety and well-being of our students is always our top priority.
He said that this little boy had touched him inappropriately, pointed exactly where he was touched, front and back. I asked him, "Baby, was this the first time this happened?" And he said, "No, Mommy, it's not." And I asked, "Can you tell me how many times?" He said, "No." I said, "How about one hand, 2 hands?" He said, "No, it's been too many times."
The mom was given a few options: move her son to a different classroom, get a restraining order, or transfer him to another school. The mother says she just wants her son to feel safe at school and wants to make sure no other family is left in the dark like hers was. The University of Houston Victoria is one step closer, a few steps closer to a potential transfer. On a Wednesday, the State Senate unanimously passed Senate Bill 2361, authored by State Senator Lois Clokhorst, transferring the UHV campus to the Texas A&M system. And the senator says that they're grateful to the University of Houston system for its willingness to transfer the campus to A&M. Clokhorst added that A&M's agriculture and engineering degrees are highly desired in our area and will match up very well with the Crossroads industry. In a statement, John Sharp, Chancellor of the Texas A&M University system, said that Senator Clokhorst passed a piece of legislation in the Senate that we from Victoria have dreamed about for decades. The Chancellor added that A&M will turn the Victoria campus into one of the premier campuses in the state. Tuesday night, State Representative for District 30, A.J. Louderback, laid out the House's companion bill to Senator Clokhorst's proposed transfer of UHV to the A&M system. Along with Louderback, speaking for the bill were Victoria Mayor Dwayne Crocker, Victoria County Judge Ben Zeller, and UHV President Bob Glenn. If the bill passes the legislature, the transfer will begin on June 1st, with the official transfer complete on September 1st. Breaking this morning, the Texas House gave the initial approval just a few hours ago to a $1 billion private school voucher bill, crossing a historic milestone and bringing the governor's top legislative priority closer than ever to reaching his desk. You can read this story by the Texas Tribune on crossroadstoday.com. A CDC scientist is raising alarm bells on funding to fight the measles outbreak. Senior scientist David Sugarman says the CDC is facing hurdles after pandemic funding was pulled back. Last month, the Department of Health and Human Services cut more than $11 billion in funds meant to help fight COVID, but states and local officials were using those funds to help control other infectious diseases as well. This is the second worst measles outbreak in the country in decades, with more than 700 cases reported in 25 states. 561 cases are here in Texas. Now to Health Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. and his new remarks about autism, raising questions and controversy.
Health Secretary Robert Kennedy is pushing back against the experts who have said higher autism rates in children are largely the result of better detection and broader diagnosis.
The epidemic is real. Only a very, very small portion of it can be charged to better recognition or better diagnostic criteria.
His comments come after the latest report from the CDC showing 1 in every 31 American children are now being diagnosed with autism. Kennedy claimed without evidence that autism is a preventable disease.
This is a preventable disease. Genes do not cause epidemics. They can provide a vulnerability. You need an environmental toxin.
In the past, Kennedy has suggested that the environmental toxin may be the vaccines children get, despite dozens of high-quality studies refuting that claim. Several studies have shown a genetic link to many cases of autism.
60 to 90% of autism risk is genetic, but we also think that environmental factors may play a small role.
Kennedy yesterday claimed that autism destroys families, and he had this to say about the future of those with the disorder.
These are kids who will never pay taxes. They'll never hold a job. They'll never play baseball. They'll never write a poem. They'll never go out on a date.
Autism advocacy groups call those comments disappointing and damaging.
I'm an autistic person. I run an organization staffed entirely by autistic people. The main thing we tell families and we tell autistic people themselves is your life is not hopeless. There are supports out there you can get. Life as an autistic person is good. It can be hard, certainly, but it can also be joyous.
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. We want to know, you can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. Do you agree with RFK's stance on autism? 45% of you say yes and 55% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. The Trump administration is continuing to pressure Harvard University. The Homeland Security Secretary now threatening to strip the school of its ability to enroll international students. That's unless the university hands over records on enrolled international students. The secretary is seeking documentation of any disciplinary action taken against them. International students make up more than 27% of the school's enrollment. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time is now just about 6:38 on our Thursday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. We take a look at last night's candidate forum.
Mounting calls for the return of Kilmara Brago Garcia to face due process in the U.S. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with the latest as the standoff intensifies between the courts and the White House.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, you heard me say it'll be a breezy next few days, actually. That's right. So coming up next, I'll tell you just how breezy or windy I think it'll be near you.
A zebra sanctuary in Bloomington, a nonprofit promising beautification. But where's the money really going?
What does that mean? What is zebras got to be beneficial for?
Our 7-month investigation uncovers a tangled web of nonprofits, LLCs, and real estate deals, leading to allegations of bribery, document falsification, and intimidation. A town at a crossroads, a fight for transparency. Don't miss Money, Power, and Incorporation. A 25 News Now Extra, Thursday night at 10.
Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Thursday, Friday Eve. You're looking live in Cuero. We're starting out the day a tad bit cool, maybe mild, warm actually, even for some this morning. And in Cuero, though, we're starting out at 66 degrees, tad bit cool, like I said, but dew point 1 degree off at 65, still bringing us that high humidity of 96%, which technically is enough, like I said, to see fog, but we're not seeing any of that this morning because we have that breezy wind blowing through right now. We're gusting up to 20 at times. And that's going to pick up in a little bit later today. We'll look at that here in a second, because if you see any kind of fog out there whatsoever, it's going to be very light. And if you see any kind of clouds out there whatsoever, that should be on the decrease just a little bit in the morning time. I'm thinking down to mostly sunny skies with a few clouds, just a few passing clouds in the morning, but that'll be on the increase later today up to partly cloudy skies for the rest of today. You can see here's noontime, and I don't think it's going to look this cloudy right here. This is mostly cloudy, but I do think it'll look that mostly cloudy for overnight tonight and over the next few days because of that low system that's coming off the mountains, which we'll also look at later on the show. Because today, underneath that beaming sun, peeking through the partly cloudy skies already at noontime at about 80, 81, just like yesterday. And also just like yesterday, we're looking for highs this afternoon, heating up to the mid-80s today for most. Thinking about 84 in Victoria, the same in Cuero, 84, and about 81, 82 today in Port Lavaca before overnight tonight. We'll drop our lows underneath the cloud cover, a bit warmer, upper 60s and low 70s. But in the background, like I said, it is going to be a bit breezy today, gust up to 25 to 30 miles an hour at times coming out of the Gulf. Going to bring us some more pollen today, tree pollen's high and moderate grass pollen, so go ahead and take an allergy pill and keep doing that because we have more breezy winds gusting up to 40 at times on Saturday and rain chances next several days, and that's coming up next.
All right, happy Thursday morning here, Crossroads. In the past couple days, we've talked about, again, the regional golf tournaments that are going on, and this is day 2 of the regional golf tournaments. Again, we have Industrial and Goliad that are competing at the top 2. Going into today right now, Industrial leads the way there with points, but Goliad is right behind them there in the scoring. And both of these teams want to look like they want to reach the state championships, and for Goliad High School, they want to see if they can bring back that elusive hardware.
I'm going to find my goals today. If I am going to go to state, I'd like to see how good I'm going to do. And, you know, if I'm hitting my driver good today, doing my short game, then I'll know it'll come in handy during state if I do make it.
Next couple of days, I just want to focus on my round, not necessarily the score, just kind of how I'm playing, hitting the ball well, things like that. Just focus on myself, really.
Now, both of these guys I interviewed there in Toby and Peyton, again, are the top 2 scorers currently here for Goliad after day 1 shooting. Again, here for Toby, he's right now 9 over par. For Peyton, he's 5 over par. But again, that'll change going in through the rest of the day. And again, for Goliad, they're going to try to see if they can make it to state as well as Industrial, because they're in second place for Goliad currently at the score of 328 total points. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
This morning, a judge is now threatening to investigate over the willful disregard of his order to halt deportations to El Salvador.
This morning, growing concerns surrounding the deportation of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Maryland husband and father who the administration admits was wrongfully sent to El Salvador. Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen now pushing for Abrego Garcia's release.
And the U.S. courts have found that he was illegally taken from the United States. And the government of El Salvador has no evidence that he was part of MS-13. Why is El Salvador continuing to hold him in CECOT?
A unanimous Supreme Court ordered the administration to let him return to the U.S. for a due process hearing. But the White House insists he will never live in the United States again and is criticizing the senator's visit.
It's appalling and sad that Senator Van Hollen and the Democrats applauding his trip to El Salvador today are incapable of having any shred of common sense or empathy for their own constituents and our citizens.
Abrego Garcia was living in Maryland after entering the country illegally. The 29-year-old was arrested and deported last month, along with hundreds of other men accused of being gang members. ABC News has learned new details about Abrego Garcia's past. In 2021, his wife obtained a temporary protective order against him, in which she said she was slapped, hit with an object, and detained against her will. The case was later closed, and his wife is now pleading for Abrego Garcia's return. Now, a federal judge is threatening to hold the Trump administration in criminal contempt for violating his orders last month to turn around those 2 planes carrying deportees to El Salvador. The White House is vowing to appeal, saying, quote, the president is 100% committed to ensuring that terrorist and criminal illegal migrants are no longer a threat to Americans. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
As Election Day nears, all of the candidates expressed their thoughts on how they would be the best fit for their role. The League of Women Voters hosted an election forum in Walker Auditorium at UHV. They answered questions regarding the community center and the actions of the VISD board.
There are people ready to serve Victoria. Every single candidate up here had answers to these very important questions.
Wagner encourages people to get out and vote because decisions like these could affect your everyday life. Saturday, May 3rd is Election Day. And the Crossroads is inviting you to join in and celebrate Earth Day by showing off your doodles. Show us what Earth Day means to you. We'll share your drawings on social media. Submissions are open now through April 25th. Just come to crossroadstoday.com. And the time is now 6:46 on our Thursday morning, so to come on Sunrise. As tariffs on automobiles loom, consumers are flocking to dealerships. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Larissa. We would love to wish Larissa a happy 13th birthday. May your day be special and full of fun and love. That's from Nanny, Grandma, Mom, Dad, siblings, and all your prayer warriors.
Oh, happy birthday, Larissa, and also happy birthday to Destiny. Happy birthday, Des. We are so proud of the young lady you have grown to be. Mom, Dad, and your brothers love you so much.
Happy birthday to Nicholas. Happy sweet 16 to my beautiful baby boy. You are strong, determined, and so smart. I love you more than you will ever know. I hope you have the best day ever. Love from Mom, Roosevelt, and Bryce.
Happy birthday, Nicholas, and also happy birthday to Anselmo. Happy birthday to our older brother, Anselmo, on his 78th birthday. May you continue to be blessed with good health for many more years to come. We all love you, brother.
Today, she's 13 going on 53. Award-winning actress, producer, and advocate Jennifer Garner is celebrating a birthday today.
Ooh, happy birthday, Jennifer Garner. And also happy birthday to Adrian. Happy birthday, mijo, from your Uncle Joe. I miss and love you. And I also want to say a big happy birthday to my best friend from the Dallas area, my stomping grounds, Nick. He turned 26 yesterday. But to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, just head on over to crossroadstoday.com, click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
All right, it's now 6:47 on our Thursday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
That's right. Happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I think it's safe to say it's been a bit of a warm week, and I hope y'all are starting to get acclimated to the heat because the heat will continue for the next several days, even with this much anticipated rain weather pattern change that we're expecting this weekend. We'll look at that here in a second, I promise, because today, like I said, we're looking at another warm one all across beautiful, warm Texas, actually. Looking at lots of generally 80s and 90s for the highs today, but anywhere you see pink, that could mean triple digits, 100 degrees plus. So a bit of a hot one in actually some areas, but the long-awaited time has come. We're waiting for rain, and I know y'all have been waiting for so long, and actually for so long that we're already back under a drought. You can see, looking at your drought monitor, we have a level 5 out of 5 exceptional drought already back underway around the San Antonio area. And something interesting about this area is this is the watershed area that filters all of the collected water, rainwater that is, through our rivers. We're talking the Guadalupe River and maybe the Colorado River. I think that one runs closer to Houston and maybe through Brazos Valley, but definitely needed some rain. We're gonna look at that here in a second because coming our way over the next several days, we're expecting a weather pattern change that will first bring us some breezy winds for the next few days. And that's gonna lead me to today's weather poll. Today I ask you, does windy weather annoy you? And it looks like slight majority at 51% are saying no. You're feeling optimistic and you love a good breeze. I'm just right there with y'all. I love a breezy day. And 16% are saying yes, it messes up your hair. And another 1/3, 33% are saying yes, it makes your allergies go crazy. But thank y'all so much for voting on today's weather poll. By voting on future weather polls, go to crossroadstoday.com/voteweather to participate, and I'll read those answers on Sunrise. But now, here we go. Looking at the big pattern change coming our way, you can see on satellite, we do have those partly cloudy skies over us, like I was saying earlier. But if we zoom out, we are still tracking these two low systems. Here's one right there, and another right here. Those two will be converging into one low system over the next 48 hours and start tracking east, bringing all sorts of moisture content into our upper atmosphere, allowing for rain chances this weekend. And not just that, but all of next week as well. We'll look at all that and more later on Sunrise.
The city of Victoria is asking residents to start conserving water. Low rainfall upstream means that the Guadalupe River is running lower than usual for this time of year. Because of a 1998 water permit, the city can only pump a limited amount from the river when levels drop. So this week, officials triggered stage 1 of the drought plan, which calls for voluntary water conservation. That includes watering your lawn just once a week, switching to water-efficient appliances, and signing up for the city's free WaterWise service to track your usage and spot leaks early. Supplies of new and used vehicles for sale are declining as consumers flock to stores ahead of a potential price increase due to tariffs. The day's supply of new vehicles, which is calculated by an estimated daily retail sales rate, dropped from 91 days at the beginning of March to 70 days this month. The day's supply of pre-owned vehicles declined by 4 days to 39 days. That's according to Cox Automotive. The company's chief economist said Tuesday that the decline in supply was one of the largest drops they've seen in several years. Americans lost $470 million to text message scams last year. New data from the Federal Trade Commission says that the most commonly reported scams involve fake package delivery, bogus job opportunities, and wrong number scams. Fake fraud alerts were also sent warning people about suspicious purchases, issues with their bank, or links to pay fake unpaid tolls. The FTC says people should forward these messages to 7726 or spam to report them. The agency also encourages people to never click on links or respond to unexpected text. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A resentencing hearing could be pivotal for two brothers fighting for their freedom. We have the details. The Menendez brothers have a chance for eventual freedom as their resentencing hearing begins in Los Angeles this afternoon. Eric and Lyle Menendez are serving life in prison without parole for their high-profile murders of their parents in 1989. The former LA County DA says a documentary helped persuade him to review the case and filed a motion in support of resentencing. Current DA Nathan Hochman says he disagrees with that motion. A former New York City police sergeant was sentenced to 18 months in prison Wednesday for acting as an illegal Chinese agent. 57-year-old Michael McMahon was also ordered to pay an $11,000 fine. Federal prosecutors say he stalked a New Jersey resident and his family on behalf of the Chinese government. During Wednesday's hearing, McMahon said he did not know he was assisting a foreign government. The Lyrids meteor shower is underway. NASA says it will be active through April 26th with 5 or 6 meteors an hour visible when the sky is dark. The agency says the peak will be Monday and Tuesday. NASA says the first recorded sighting of the Lyrids meteor shower was in 687 BC. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at a pink sunrise with Parker. How's it looking?
You are so right, Carolina. We do have a nice pink sunrise, mostly pink this morning. You look live on Port Lavaca. Look at all those pink and yellow and orange colors out there this morning as the sun comes up on the horizon. But if you're going to go see that pretty sunrise, a little bit nice out there, I should say. So don't need to worry about a jacket. It's 69 right now in Port Lavaca. And it's also quite nice for everybody out there. Everybody's sticking in the mid and upper 60s, getting closer to that warm water. Y'all are also in the upper 60s and low 70s this morning. So definitely, like I said, no need for a jacket. But the warm weather is with us this morning, and it's going to be another warm day today thanks to the winds. They're coming out of the south. No need to worry about fog because of that this morning, but the winds are going to pick up today. That's why we have a small craft advisory in effect. So fishers and boaters, please be aware with gusts up to 25 knots, maybe even 30 knots at times, bringing us some choppy waves 1 to 3 feet high today. And your high tide's going to be this afternoon about 5:17 p.m. by the time you get off work. And your water temperatures are starting to cool down just ever so slightly to the upper 70s. But air temperatures are staying warm. Look over high of 82 in Port Lavaca today. Like I said, breezy gusting up to 25 to 30 miles an hour at times. Same thing for all that in Victoria. A bit warmer though, thinking 84. And about the same thing for all that today in Cuero. I'm thinking 84 as well. But get used to that because we're going to stay nice and warm for the next several days. But on top of that, drum roll please, we've got rain chances finally back in the forecast. That should hopefully bring some relief to our drought.
All right. Thank you for the good news, Parker.
I hope so. I hope so.
And thank y'all for being with us this morning. Join Shauna, Don, Maclovio, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Stay tuned for Good Morning America. A good day.